extra time.
We've got to make sure that we play the game how we want to play it, and we look after that the best as we can, and not get too distracted or drawn into anything that's not us. We've got to be genuine to ourselves, genuine to how we are as individuals and how we are collectively, and be as good as we can be at the way that we go about things. Virat will and his team will play how they play. I just want us to go out and be the best version of it.
2 घंटे में डिलीवरी, विश यू स्पीडी रिकवरी, कोई भी दवा अब नहीं करो मिस, दवाई चाहिए एसएप तो बस एक अपोलो 24/7 डिलीवर करे आपकी पूरी प्रिस्क्रिप्शन सिर्फ 2 घंटों में.
Virat Kohli obviously likes to get involved in a few things on the field. Do you have a policy dealing with him? Is it best to give him the silent treatment or go hard at him as well, or does that fire him up even more?
I think the most important for us is the theatre and everything else surrounding the game. We've got to make sure that we play the game how we want to play it, and we look after that the best as we can, and not get too distracted or drawn into anything that's not us. We've got to be genuine to ourselves, genuine to how we are as individuals and how we are collectively, and be as good as we can be at the way that we go about things. Virat will and his team will play how they play. I just want us to go out and be the best version of it we can be.
Will you speak to the players about dealing with him particularly?
I think there are always conversations. You're always trying to find 1%ers in ways you can deal with different situations within the game and within the test match. And I think we've done some good learning off the back of the last game. I think we could have managed certain areas differently. Me as the captain, as mentioned after the game, different passages in that last innings and in that third innings as well, where we could have gone about things slightly differently. So, look, there's 3 massive games to play in this series. There's a lot to play for, and we're desperate to bounce back strong here.
Just on Mark Wood, it's another injury hammer blow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frustrating for Mark, and obviously for us as a side. I thought he bowled really well, especially in that second innings up top. He gives us a real point of difference, that added pace, and seems to be really in good fettle when playing at the moment. So it's a frustration, for him more so than anyone else, but obviously for us as a side as well. But one we just have to deal with, and it provide opportunity for someone else to hopefully step up.
And that could be a test debut for Saqib. Is he ready for a test debut, do you feel?
I feel like Saqib couldn't be in a better place to potentially play test cricket. You look at how he's progressed over the last couple of years across all the formats. But the opportunities he's taken this year, when been given them, he's been exceptional. He's been a standout bowler. He came out the back of that one-day series as probably the most experienced player and the go-to seamer that Ben went to under pressure, and it just shows how far he's come, and it's great to see that strength and depth, and now him developing as he has done over a period of time now.
How much stronger, Joe, do you think the batting is going to be with Milan coming back into the team and Haas moving up to open?
I think that David would obviously offer us a lot of experience in that top 3. Not necessarily in terms of international experience in Test cricket, but he has played a huge amount of international cricket now. He's dealt with pressure situations. He's played a lot of red ball cricket over the course of his career, and he's also had great success. He's played in a massive series in Australia away and been our leading run scorer out there. So we know that he's capable of big things in Test match cricket, and he's coming off the back of, again, it's only one score in county championship cricket, but it's a big one, as well as some brilliant scores at high pressure cricket in the short format too.
And how do you see Haas and Burns as maybe an opening partnership in this Test match?
Yeah, they're 2 fine players. They're very, very different in their styles, but it's an opportunity for them to go and make some big runs and get us off to a good start, and hopefully we can follow through on that.
Joe, the news on Jos Buttler, he's suggesting he may not be around for the end of the series and is missing the resumption of the IPL and maybe not going to the Ashes. Can you offer some clarification on what's happening there?
Sorry, can you ask that question again? I didn't hear the start of it.
Yeah, Jos Buttler's been suggesting he may not be around for the end of the India series. He's not going to the resumption of the IPL, and suggesting he may not go to the Ashes, given a new child on the way. Can you offer any clarification on what's happening with Jos?
I can't clarify anything at this stage. That's a conversation that we'll have closer to the time, and one that will have to be made further down the line. I think for me and for us as a team, we've got to focus on this week and trying to make sure we get ourselves leveled up in this series.
Hi, Joe. I just wondering, other than not speaking to us a day out from the game, what are you doing to kind of keep yourself in the zone that you find yourself in at present? Because obviously it's a serious run of form that you're in. What are the sort of specific things you're doing to try and keep yourself in that place?
Well, firstly, I want to say thank you for appreciating that, and
it's fine.
But I think more than anything, I made a few technical changes over the last period of time, and I've sort of gone back to something that I did a little while ago. But having made those changes to something else, it made me work out and appreciate a bit more of what made the initial movements and triggers that I had so useful, and where I scored my runs, how I scored them, and it just gave me a better understanding of my game. So if I didn't go through all of that, then I wouldn't have that clarity in how I've been able to play so far in the series. Sometimes it's that I suppose that old adage of you have to take a little bit of a backward step to come forward, and feel like I'm reaping the rewards of that at the minute. I think I've obviously over a period of time found myself getting out between 50 and 100. I feel like I've managed those phases a little bit better, just through a better understanding of what I want to play, what I want to leave, where I want to score my runs, where the risk is to certain types of bowlers. And I suppose just even more experience within the game, having played a little bit more. So a culmination of all those things, really.
Yeah, Joe, you have played against some of the best attacks in the world, be it Australian seamers, South Africa, New Zealand, namely. And so, according to your opinion, where does this Indian pace attack rank among them? And if you have to share something about the Indian pacers, who do you think have been troubling the England batsmen the most? Obviously, you have been playing pretty much all of them well, but where do you think the other English batsmen need to improve, and who has been troubling them the most?
I think credit to India. They've got a wonderful attack. And I think you look around Test cricket around the world at the minute. There are some, as you mentioned, some fantastic bowling attacks out there that a lot of them do suit English conditions or have the exploits to manage these conditions very well. India have certainly done that so far in this series, and we've got to keep being smart about finding ways to counter that. I think one thing they have is they have a good balance. They have variety. They have different release points. As players, you've got to just keep finding ways to counter that, finding ways to get off strike, finding ways to score, put the odd bit of pressure back on them, and as well be able to soak it up on occasions too.
A time when you sort of almost single-handedly have been carrying England's batting, is it a bit frustrating or rather disappointing not to have Ben Stokes in the side who could have provided him with his on-field exploits? After the short stage, do you have any conversation with Ben in terms of his return to?
No, I'm not having conversations with Ben about his turn to cricket. He needs to spend some time looking after Ben and doing what's right for him. For a long time, he's put this team and England cricket ahead of a number of different things, and I think it's important that people respect that. I certainly do as England captain. And there's, from my point of view, there's no pressure on him to do anything other than look after himself right now.
There was also a lot of heat in the middle. There was a lot of aggression in the middle. So how challenging does it become, emotionally, you're playing at home, and when you're seeing an opponent side coming and going at you like that, how challenging does it become to play cricket in that kind of a circumstance? And would you say this is the most aggressive Indian side that you have met?
I'd say when you're out there in the middle, it does sometimes when it does get a bit heated, it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're at home or away. Sometimes it's a passage of play that you have to manage well, and I managed it better than us on that occasion. But as I say, we've got to just make sure that we go about our cricket how we want to. We've got to look after that best possible way. But yeah, it's part of the game. One thing I will say, I thought it was a brilliant Test match for a neutral. Obviously, hurt a lot being on as an England player and England captain, us being on that side of the result. But what a fabulous Test match! What an advert for the greatest format of the game. And you know, for every cricket lover out there, just shows the excitement and the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, the to and fro of 5-day cricket is just, it can't be beaten if you ask me.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.